Hey, I want to show you one of my absolute favorite outdoor succulents for growing in extreme heat and a lot of sunlight in Arizona. It's one you may have seen before or maybe not. They're kind of newer, there's a lot more hybrids out, but the genus of the succulent is Mangave, and I'm going to show you a couple that I have right now in my yard or in my garden. All right. First up, we have this one. I believe it is Mangave cherry chocolate chip. Now, Mangaves are a hybrid of a Manfreda plant and agave. So that's the name, Mangave. And this particular one, you might not think looks especially great. Like, Cassie, there's a bunch of dead leaves. It looks like it's kind of struggling. This is interesting. So agaves are generally considered to be monocarpic plants. They die after they bloom. Manfredas, however, are not. They bloom multiple times in their life. So about a year and a half ago, this Mangave actually bloomed, and I was super curious to see what would happen with it. If it would bloom and die, or if it would keep growing. Obviously it's here, so it did continue to grow, and I've heard mixed things from people who own Mangaves. Some have had them die, some have had them keep going. So in my case, this one kept going, but all of this kind of yellowy, more looking stuff on the end that is not healthy, that was from the original plant. And I guess I say it looks like it's not healthy, but it's still growing. And then this is a new baby that came up out of, you can't quite see it, but it came basically out of the center where the plant would have died and where the bloom came out. So are Mangaves monocarpic or are they polycarpic? And the answer is it depends. But in my case, this one did keep growing, and it's finally starting to recover and look better. But I mean, look at how amazing these spots are in here. They're just so bright and fun and colorful. All right, so there's one. Now this is one, I did a different video on this one where I showed replanting it after 4 months of it not being potted. The original pot it was in broke. And the thing that I noticed today about it that is super cool is over here it's green and over here it is purple. Now, you might think it grew that way. It did not. What actually happened was this side of it was more exposed to the sunlight during those 4 months when it was not in the pot. And these were kind of laying on the ground or laying on the pot, and they did not get exposed to sunlight, so they lost their color. So this is a stress color for it. It's honestly the normal color for it, but when it wasn't getting enough light, it did turn green. But I just love the really dark purple colors, and you can see like this one isn't spotted like the other one, but it is kind of speckly. The purple is not solid there. You can actually, I guess you can see it better here, some of the patterning. So these have been on my front porch. They get direct sunlight all morning, and I did actually have them originally in my backyard, which got direct sunlight all day. And they did really well out there too. So these are bigger specimens. Smaller ones may need a little bit more shade, but they have tolerated the heat and the sun really well. Now this one may not look super amazing either, but it is another one, and it's coming in so cool. But this one has been outside all summer as well in this spot. It gets more light than the other two. The pot also isn't quite as deep, so I think its roots don't quite get as much water. I'm gonna trim off some of these dead parts on it. But they just have such cool color, and this is the most damage or stress I have seen on any of mine, even when they were in full sun all day. They just seem to do super well. So I have 2 more that I'm going to show you real quick too. All right, this is a smaller one. It is also on my front porch, gets direct sunlight in the morning, and it's in a much smaller pot. This one does not have as much of the purple color. It's more of like a minty kind of green color, but still with those cool purple spots. And again, you can see some dried up leaves down and around here. It just didn't get water enough. It was getting watered like every other week in the peak heat of summer. So considering that, it is looking exceptionally good. All right, this is the last one I want to show you. It is the saddest looking of them all, but it actually has a really cool story, or sad story, depending on how you look at it. We had pet rabbits and we had them out roaming in our yard for a little bit, and it completely ate down this succulent. So there was nothing here. Like all of this dried up stuff was the only thing that was left. It was green, but there was nothing. It did not look like a real plant. So I figured I would let it keep growing and just see what happened, because it was still fleshy. But I had worried that the rabbit had eaten like down into the inside and was going to prevent it from continuing to grow. Now this has taken, I think, 2.5 years to get to this point. It's grown very slowly, but like the succulents on the front porch, it's only gotten watered like every 14 days or so. Outside, extreme heat. This one has been getting sun the majority of the day. It's shielded from the last couple hours of direct sunlight in the afternoon, but other than that, it's pretty much full sun all day. And so I think the combination of that and not frequent enough watering to help it grow a little faster is what slowed it down. But you can see there's also a little baby here and a little baby growing here. So I'm excited throughout the winter to water this a tiny bit more. It should just grow a little bit faster because the temperatures are more temperate here in the winter. And so I'm excited to see if it keeps growing a little bit more now. All right, so there you have my all-time favorite heat and sun loving succulent. If you want to grow succulents in a climate like Phoenix where it's super hot, over 100, like over 110 during a significant chunk of the summer, mangaves are a really great option. I know a lot of people are familiar with cactus that grow in the extreme heat, but these are different. They have that more smooth kind of echeveria look to them. They have really intense purple colors, really cool patterns on them. So take a look at mangaves if you're looking for something that loves the heat and loves the sunlight. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, share it with all of your succulent loving friends, and I will see you next time.